Welcome back. All right, so brief news video for all you fine people before we get into tonight's action. Just the 3 games tonight, so pretty easy night for yours truly. And just if you're a hockey fan in general, you want to watch everything that's going on, tonight's one of those easy nights. So some waiver wire news. The Philadelphia Flyers have claimed Lucas Sedlak from the Colorado Avalanche. So I'd wondered if he'd clear, and he didn't. So the Philadelphia Flyers pick him up, bottom six forward, and the Flyers are off to a 3-0 start. Guess they saw something they liked with Sedlak, so Colorado signs him, brings him over, and he lasts three games with Colorado. All right. All the best to him. On waivers today, Dryden Hunt for the New York Rangers, and Phil DiGiuseppe has been waived by the Canucks. He had been injured. Now that he's healthy, they are waiving him for the purpose of sending him down to Abbotsford. And the Abbotsford Canucks could absolutely use DiGiuseppe in their lineup. It could be a long season for Abbotsford. But it's fine. Your development team in the AHL, it's great when they're winning. It's not necessarily great when they're losing, but it really is about developing players. Good news for Calgary fans. Everything fell apart between the city and the team in terms of being able to get a new building put up. These talks are set to restart, and they're important. The Saddle Dome has been the home of the Flames since the 80s, but its time has come and gone. And so they definitely need a new building. They need one, I would say, sooner rather than later. And it looks like that's going to happen. Honestly, I understand there's differences between the city and the team, and there's going to be arguing back and forth. I don't expect that to stop either. But I think cooler heads should prevail in this one. Obviously, the city of Calgary loves the Flames. The Flames love playing out of Calgary. Now they've got their AHL franchise there as well. Makes sense to sit down, iron this out, and figure out how this is going to work. So that's good news for Flames fans, and honestly, I think this is a sign that they'll get it all figured out. Jacob Vrana. So not a lot is out there on this. I was looking around today. He's away from the team for personal reasons. They're not saying what those are. And now he's been moved to a non-roster player. Now this happens. You have a player who leaves for personal reasons. Eventually, they're not listed on the roster. I believe that happened with Larkin for them last year. So for Vrana, hopefully he's not out for too long. Hopefully everything is okay with him. Obviously, when a player's out for personal reasons, there are various things that it could be that is causing that absence. So hopefully Vrana's okay, and whatever is causing him to miss time with the team gets straightened out sooner rather than later. So if you're a Wings fan, I'm sure you'll agree with me. For Vrana, a guy who has had a hard time, playing a full schedule due to injuries, hopefully he's not out for very long and he's able to come back and get to playing. Winnipeg news, there was some speculation about whether or not Rick Bowness would be joining the team for their road trip. He was diagnosed with COVID last week. And it looks like he will not be joining them on the road trip, but will be making his debut behind the bench for the Winnipeg Jets when they return home. So Bowness looks like he's recovering and he's in good shape. And so, the final 2 games of the road trip, Scott Arniel, I guess he's still the head coach for these final 2 games. And we'll see how things go. They're, of course, in Colorado tonight, so that's going to be a tough ask for Winnipeg to get the victory there. But we've seen some surprising results so far this season. Why not see another one there? Moving to Toronto here. So Sheldon Keefe came out and basically said that the elite players for Toronto weren't elite against Arizona. I didn't report on it because I didn't think it was a big deal, but I forgot. Toronto, of course it is. So Keefe basically he's backtracked somewhat in saying that, he may have been misconstrued. Why? A coach should be able to come out and say, hey, the guys we counted on tonight didn't step up, and that's the problem. You should be able to say that without, and I mean, that's basically what he said in a nutshell. Now Marner and Matthews have come out and said they understand the criticism. You should be able to be criticized as a hockey player when your team loses if the coach feels like you're contributing to that. And keep in mind too, for Sheldon Keefe, if this goes off the rails, he could end up out of a job. So I understand the passion, I understand the frustration. We're seeing that in Vancouver as well with Bruce Boudreau, and I get the frustration because for coaches, they know their expiry date can be a heck of a lot sooner than any of us think, and it can happen early in the season. We see firings in October. We see firings in November. So the sooner that Keefe can get all the members of the Toronto Maple Leafs on the same page and doing what they're supposed to do, the sooner he can breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief here. So again, I didn't think it was a big deal, but in this day and age, I guess it becomes a big deal. Uh, I guess when you lose at home against Arizona, and the thing that got me with that was they really didn't generate anything in the first period. I just thought, they didn't show up on time. So that was my criticism of them. They just didn't show up on time. And by the time they woke up, it was kind of late in the game. So for Toronto, get this out of the way early. Get these setbacks out of the way and get to playing your game. And I think they will. Montreal, speculation. The reason I'm wearing a Habs jersey as well. And why not wear this throwback, right? As we get ready for the reverse retros to be revealed tomorrow. Now that they're all leaked, now that we know what all of them look like, now we can all be like, oh, wow, look at that. That's exactly what we thought we were getting because you guys, all the leaks came out already. If they had released those jerseys in September, we would have been surprised. But here we are. Montreal, though, it looks like Slavkovsky, and there's a lot of smoke, so I think there's fire here as well. Slavkovsky likely ends up getting sent down to Laval. He gets the games in Vancouver. He gets the games in Vancouver. He gets the games playing for the Habs, and then he gets sent down to Laval as like stupid hockey guy messing up Slavkovsky. But he likely gets sent down to Laval. It's not the end of the world. Not every number one draft pick ends up coming into the league and takes over right away. The only reason I had him in the Calder video the other day was because if I didn't, people would have been like, what about Slavkovsky? So I threw him in there. But I don't expect him to be a front runner for that, and we'll see how things go. I've also already seen a lot of people arguing about, these young players, they need to play more, and why aren't coaches playing the young stars more? Simply put, it is very rare for a rookie player to get into a top six role and bump a top six guy out of there. Whether it's right or wrong, it's always been a matter of you have to earn that spot. And rookies will come in, they'll play 9 or 10 minutes a night, and teams get an idea of where they're at. And very often it's because the plan is to send them down or to gradually crank up that ice time, gradually, give them more responsibility. Not right out of the gate, especially not on power plays and penalty kills. They really seem to favor the veteran players there. But it's a criticism I've heard of coaches, I want to say for at least the last 30 years. Dating back to, I'll say, the 90s, but yeah, it probably goes further back than that. But there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below, as always. And again, there's just the 3 games tonight, so quiet night. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we're supposed to get rain soon, and that hopefully is the case because the smoke's been bad. If you look at any kind of a map, Abbotsford right now is really bad. I know it's bad in Chilliwack too. So if you're in the valley, staying inside is the recommendation, and even in the house, there's still smoke. So anyways, there you go. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. I will talk to you again soon.